What's up, my friends? Happy Sunday night. Most people have a long weekend, and that's pretty cool, you know. Holiday season there's always a different energy in the air, right? There's a different energy, a different vibe. It doesn't matter if you're Christian or Muslim or whatever you believe in. There is an energy of a more time where you have more freedom. You have more freedom to with your family, or just more freedom, more time. You don't have to think about work as much, right? And I wanted to talk about something. I just wanted to start in a few seconds and give everyone greetings, peace, salam. Okay, and just setting the intention out there to just empower, just to give you a concept that you have been told all your life. You have you have created your reality from this concept that I'm going to be talking about. You have put so much hope, so much of your spiritual beliefs in this word, gratefulness, gratitude. And I've come to find out that what we have been told and how we have been told to interact with this word, gratitude, in our life has been totally in a way that keeps us at a certain vibration, certain frequency, certain level of understanding, thought. So gratitude is one of those things where I've been told, when you're, say, for example, you want a toy. I'm telling you from my own life. You get bought a toy. You don't want this toy. You want this other one, which is more expensive. And then you get told to be happy with what you have and to be grateful for what you have, because other people do not have this. So you kind of like, okay, you just kind of like don't say anything, So you try to be happy with that thing, but deep inside you don't really like it, You didn't want GI, you didn't want GI Snow. You wanted GI Joe, You wanted the leader, not the sidekick figure, And you've been told to be grateful, or eat your food. Be grateful for this. But gratitude, that made gratitude into a feeling. Like, how do you feel gratitude? You cannot feel gratitude. Gratitude is a vibrational state. It is a higher vibration. It is a state of, it's a frequency that you have to tap into. You have to go to gratitude. You have to be in a state of gratitude to even be grateful. And to be grateful, to be in gratitude, it requires an action. It's like, be grateful for what you have, and to be in that gratitude, to show your gratefulness, you improve. You always take care of that thing you have, so it stays at this level of gratitude. You get it? So you stay at the vibration of gratitude. That's why I'm saying gratitude is a frequency. Okay, so somebody's ringing the doorbell. Okay, so, but we get taught like this. We get taught that gratitude is settling for what you have, is being happy with what you have, and that's it. Just be happy. But if you have gratitude for your body, then to show that gratitude, you have to fuel your body in a way that is aligned with a grateful person. A grateful person wouldn't take poison. Okay, a grateful person wouldn't if they're grateful for their car, no matter what, they will be maintaining it on a regular basis. They'll be on the lookout of doing what a grateful person would move, drive, just be in that state of gratitude when they're by that thing. So if you're grateful for your breath, you wake up, you're in gratitude for the simplest things, like even breathing. So then whatever you breathe will be more pure. It'll be more of a pure state. So instead of, Susie, like instead of smoking a cigar that you can get from any gas station, you show your gratitude for that energy, and you get a premium plate. You get a premium cigar where it's handmade. It's rolled by a certain process that's pure to its unique form. It has the vibration, the energy of the people that rolled it. And when you interact with that energy, you are synergizing with all that energy that's tied behind it, the unseen energy. And that's when you are in gratitude. So when you're in gratitude, it allows more things to come into that plane of frequency, which is in gratitude. The more you'll have to be grateful for, the more things will be coming towards you in your reality, because you are now at a different frequency, a different level of being, a different level of thinking, different level of just behaving, different level of thought, different level of action, different level of emotion. And it's like that loop of consciousness, and in this reality, it'll always feed back at a higher level. Because if you're grateful, you can't be complaining. A person that's really grateful does not complain. A person that's really grateful for, their life, no matter how it looks, when they're grateful for that, they won't be doing things in frustration. Because frustration is, you can't be frustrated and in gratitude. Now there's times when they get tough, and you have to be like going to the extra deep place in yourself, and not hope, but in gratitude of like, wow, you know what? I don't have any medical problems. I don't have any, I don't have this. I have like more than a lot, and not only that, to be grateful for that, I'm gonna make sure that what I have is operating at the highest level possible. And then once you do that, you become a different person, and then you almost like you transform. Your trajectory, your book of life, there's infinity outcomes. You change one action, it'll take you to another route. Like if you ever shot a gun before, if you're off by a millimeter from the start, you're gonna be off by a feet. You're not even gonna get the target. It's gonna be so off. It's like it's definitely like you could plan out everything, and it's a series of processes and knowledge. Once you get into that realm, you have access to higher information. There's a lot of things that are not written in books. We think logically, and we think that we have to be taught from a book, that we have to be taught from an institution. Someone has to teach us, and that person that teaches us should look like this, and if it's something that I want, and then that person should be like this and that, and then they want it a certain way. But that's not how the higher knowledge comes. I mean, there are, pockets of information. Like when you have gratitude, it's like it is a stepping stone. It's like the Jacob's ladder. It's like gratitude. It's like it builds on itself. It builds on itself. You have more and more to be grateful for. You change your vibration, and you go up higher and higher. And life is awesome. The deeper the valley you've been on, the dark valley, and you climb, it's like the higher you climb. The deeper the valley, the higher the top. The higher the mountaintop, the lower the valley, you know? It's energy. Like people that, like Oprah and all these people that we look at as billionaires, you know, they tapped into that kind of knowledge. And it's not devils, you know, it's not all this stuff that institutionalized people want to preach, you know? They want to scare their congregants and their average people, because this information, you know, if you haven't seen yourself, your reflection, and seen it that is not you, you're not your reflection. You can change your reflection. And a lot of people expect people around them to change. A lot of people want the economy to be better, then they'll get their job, or this things have to happen on the outside, then they will start working out, you know? Like January 1st has to happen, then they'll start working out. Like my brother was telling me how he knows people that say they're going to go to the gym on the 1st. That's when they're going to start their health life, you know? It's like, why? Why wait 4 days? I mean, you can be set up. You can write down things. You can start that process now. But people are waiting for arbitrary made mass, you know, dates, so they feel better about what they're doing. And then they say like 90% of all goals or resolutions are broken within, you know, I think 30 days, 15 days of keeping it. So, and that was me. I was making traps. I was setting resolutions. I was writing them down, and I was having the workout plan, but I didn't change my mind. You know, it was the same mind doing those things, and it's the opposite. You change your mind, then you change your thoughts, you change what you think about yourself, you change your limited beliefs, you have real faith, which is a knowing, a certainty, not a hope. Not a hope that, you know, God will get you. It's like, you know He will, or you know God will, or the higher power or the universe will. That's real faith. And I'm not talking about you get in front of you walk across a cliff and hope and know that you're gonna walk on air. It's not that. It's like, that's just, you know, maybe there are people that can do that, but I'm saying is that you have to be at a very different level. I'm saying is that you have to take the baby steps. You have to be initiated. You have to initiate yourself into this lifestyle. It is not for the dabbler. You know, this is not a weekend project, you know, like mowing the lawn. You know, this is like some serious stuff, you know, that will shake the foundation of your life. But in order for the new building to come up, the foundation has to be torn down. The foundation has to be torn down and then built on a foundation of truth, built on a foundation of higher energy, higher vibrations, and then that's like rebuilding your mind and learning, in fact, unlearning things that bound you, you know. And it's not like it's like unlearning time, you know. It's like, well, okay, well, that's stupid. How can you unlearn time? It's like you utilize time, but you don't let time utilize you. You know, so you are there at 8 o'clock for a meeting, but you aren't living your life based on time and how much time you have left, and what the time going on all the time is. It's like you can't, because otherwise you will be racing against time, and that vibration of your foundation you'll be setting is death, like time, because I'm going to die. But it's like, there's not really a death. You just transition. You know, your physical body dies, but your soul travels on. You know, and the thing is, you can have a death anytime you want. It's the death of that level of yourself when you make a decision to change and you implement the plans and you actually do it every day, and you have uh, and you have someone to assess you, someone to keep you accountable, hold you accountable in a very heavy way, and people are like, I do NLP life coaching, and I got told, oh, well, you shouldn't charge for things like this. I say, well, the reason why, I mean, I'm not, the reason why people charge for this is because most people are so trapped in the physical, in the illusion, and they love one thing more than anything else is money, not actual cash. No one just has cash, but they love the fact that money can give them access to, for them, happiness. A new car, a new this, or new this, and money is what people are after because that is become the real God. You know, and so in order to break that level, that psyche that is trapping you in that form, you have to give up what you hold. You have to sacrifice what you hold the dearest, you know? And money in this reality, in this time, is the exchange of energy. So you hold money dear, so you have to give up X amount of money to initiate yourself and tell your lower self, your ego, your nafs, the one that doesn't want to change, because for it is death. Because you can't be down here and change and be up here and then be that same person down there. It's a different psyche, different mindset. Different beliefs are different. It's more expanded. Instead of being this small beliefs, now it's like this big, and it gets bigger and bigger. It's like a balloon, and it's not about popping. There's no popping. If it pops, then it's united with the air. That air doesn't have a barrier to the other air. It's just everything. It's part of the all. That's what death is. But at what vibration? So, anyways, this is why these modalities, you have to sacrifice something. That's why in these movies, like, people go to Tibet and, like, they're at the footsteps of Tibet and they have to go to a master. You know what I mean? And it's like that's what people believe it takes to get to that knowledge. It doesn't. You don't have to quit your job. You don't have to, you don't have to give up what you love and all these passions you have. No, it actually, what the training does. What the training does is it aligns you with your higher self and your higher passions. That's not rooted in the physical. So it's not rooted in that survival mechanism. It's not rooted in, I have to make these people happy so I can, not offend them, or it's like it's and the outcome, the byproduct becomes all those things. It becomes money. It becomes admiration. It becomes people looking up to you. The byproduct is all that stuff. But see, that's the byproduct. But when you're after money, you might get it, but it comes to the cost of other stuff. Maybe peace of mind, or maybe morality, or maybe like just family life, relations. But if you do it for the sake of the higher you, Allah, sake of Allah, sake of God, sake of your that thing that is connected to the all, then the body comes on for the ride too. So instead of eating like just some whatever cake, just to satisfy your sweet tooth, you eat something that's made of higher quality, and it's like, and you get to a point where you deprive yourself of that cake, and then get to a point where you don't even want it. You don't even want it anymore. It's like you have controlled your body and mind so much that it doesn't even crave it, unless it's like you're tasting it, and then you get into that mode. But then once it gets to that point, then you say, okay, I'm going to treat you, body. The soul is going to treat the body. It's a little child. Now it's going to give it cake, but it's going to be at a higher vibration. Or it's going to give it a certain food, or meat, for example. Like I was vegetarian for 3 years, so I ate meat again, and it's like I gave it meat, but it's like it was at a different, totally different understanding. It's like, you know, you, for example, when you eat chicken, people, to be called a chicken, it's like you're stupid, or you're coward. Oh, are you yellow? I don't know if they say that anymore, but back in uh, grade school, we used to call somebody that was afraid to do something. Oh, you're chicken. Oh, you're so chicken. Oh, you're chicken. I don't think kids say that anymore. I don't think children say that anymore. But that's like an example. And it's not a good thing to be chicken. It's not a good thing to be yellow. It's not a good thing to be a chicken brain or chicken head. You know. And then yet we eat this chicken all the time, and we can't be. And masses are fearful, and masses are chicken brained. You know. But if you change your whole vibe and you start and you understand energy, then you can be eating that same piece of flesh, but you know that you eat the other polarity of it. So you slaughter the chicken. If you can go to the farm, slaughter it, and you're slaughtering that aspect of you. When you're invoking God's name, the highest vibration possible you can invoke is the name of the Creator. The vibration, the energy. So when you're cutting it, you're instilling that energy into it, and it's like and when you're saying it to the physical, it's coming back to you, and it's like almost like programming it and taking out that chicken part of you. So when I slaughtered it, it's like I'm taking out the fearful aspect of me. I'm taking out the chicken brain of myself. And then when I eat the animal, I am synergizing while evoking that higher name, and having thoughts of like what it's doing to me, and just savoring that piece of meat and just tasting it and infusing it with my energy. And now I'm absorbing the nutrients of it, the body is, but so at the soul level, you are absorbing the higher polarity of chickens. The lower polarity is that they're fearful and the chicken heads and these language that we use, but the higher polarity is like they're very resourceful. Chicken are very resourceful animals, and they lay eggs, and they are beneficial to like ecosystem, and they're very cunning, and mother hen. On all these fables, they have the mother hen. They're very caring and loving of their chicks, and they sit on their chicken eggs, and they incubate them, and they're like very motherly, mother hen. That's why they call them mother hen. So you can be eating, synergizing with that energy in your own physical body at the spiritual level. And when you eat like that, then of course you're not going to waste it. You're not going to just eat like a pig, and just waste this and that and have it every single day. You're going to eat it once a week, because maybe that chicken lasts 16 pieces. You cut it and you eat it for a week, and then you have it a month later. In the meantime, eat fish, and it's like you rotate every week, and you appreciate each aspect of all these different animals and even the foods, and you absorb it. Because when you absorb animal, you're absorbing the energy of that animal. How it's perceived, thought of it. Like when you think of chicken, like what comes to your mind? Maybe you can think of a sandwich, and also you think of somebody from school because you remember they were chicken. Just like, wait a second, a person. I say word chicken, and you have all these thoughts in your mind. It's like really interesting. You can see the polarity of somebody by showing them these pictures. Like think the first word that comes to your mind. And you have a picture of like a cat, and then you say, oh, if it's a black cat, then they say Halloween, and then it could be a picture of like some celebrity, and you think of the first thing, and then you have to do it quick. And the thing is, the idea of it is, you are not allowing your ego to filter it, so people around you can like approve of what you're saying. You're almost like letting your true self out, and that's your soul, because you've programmed it. It's like you can feed your soul, your spirit, your subconscious mind, whatever you want, and it's like it's planting seeds. And in gratitude, is a state of being where to be in that vibration, frequency of gratitude, you cannot be frustrated. You can't be angry. You have to be always in a, it's like it puts you in a mood of like, wow, I'm so grateful that I'm online and I'm, live. When I was growing up, we didn't have the internet. I mean, I remember going to bulletin boards, which is like, I waited for like 2 hours for like a picture of a lion, of a lion in like 32-bit graphics, and it's like, wow, oh, look at that. It's 275K. It took like 2 hours to download, and it's like, and no one can call you because you've jammed up the phone lines, I mean, it's like we grew up in that era. It's like, and this is so powerful, this is the same technology that these CNN people have, and it's like, but people will watch CNN because they see energy, and they assume that those people know more, those people know better than them, and they're in a suit, and that's why they have certain colors, that's why they are on at a certain time, that's why they have certain commercials. It's all psychology. It is all mind control. It is all to control your subconscious mind, and that's the big secret, because it's meant to keep you at a certain vibration, and it's like, oh, that's how the world is. No, that's how the world is for you, because you have agreed for it to be that way. Now you can supersede that and still be in that world, but it doesn't affect you. See, now Trump doesn't affect me. It doesn't matter to me. It's like, I can allow it to. They're like, oh, how could you allow it to happen and not do this and that and join this group or join that group? It's like, no, you can't expect the world to change. If you change, the world changes. So if each person changed individually, they would make the change in outside, amongst them, their friends, and it'll spread like a virus. That change to a higher consciousness. But you can't expect other people to change. So why? It's like, then you get trapped into labels. If you're vegan, then you have to be a vegan. If you're a vegan Muslim, or if you're a Muslim Red Sox fan, but you also you're also a Houston Rockets fan, and you also like country music, but you're part of an Arab group, and it's weird to like country. It's like everything is a label. That's all you are, a bunch of labels. But the labels have been defined by the society, not by you. So this is why this information requires a sacrifice. It requires sacrifice, because for the person to even give it to you, they have sacrificed more than you can know. It's like, that's why. And also, free is not valued. See, when you pay for something, then you are more likely to follow through with it and take it seriously. See, that's why people pay for courses. They pay for like $1,000 for one course, and it's like course on like how to make a Shopify store, how to sell. What they do is they pay like money for someone to teach them like how to invest in Bitcoin, and altcoins, and how to make this much money, and no, look at this and that, and the person gets lured by the shiny objects in the commercial, the cars in the background, and the idea of having all that money, and oh, they'll be so free and happier, and their life will be so much better, and they can finally do this and that. And then they spend that $1,000, and then they do it for like a week, and then they just get back in their old habits, and they don't have time, and because it gets really tough, and you have to do these boring things and watch these videos for hours and hours, and it's like, oh, I don't want to do this. Oh, you know what? I can do it if I do it for this much, or I can do it this, and then basically and then you actually invest the money into it, and then you like lose it all, and then you say, oh, this is stupid. This doesn't work. It's a scam. And that's what 99% of people end up at that level. But the idea that the system works, but you have to know yourself. You have to know your drive, your purpose. You have to know every angle. You have to know yourself. You have to eat a certain way. You have to be at a certain vibration for that to be at that level, at that energy level, high energy level. You know, you have to be the person that gets up at 6 and like is like, so, you know, I don't know, it's like they draw energy from things. You know, it's like, but that stuff is not taught by these quick seminars. You know, and I'll be honest, I've spent in my lifetime, like there's people that have spent like thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, like normal, like people that make like 70, $80,000 a year. I know people that have spent in the course of like 10 years, has spent like like $40,000 on self improvement kind of things, all the way from like going to Tony Robbins seminar to like going to TEDx, from like you know, starting this thing and that thing and learning this affiliate marketing in like 10 years. You know, they buy like 2 a year, you know, and that's like they spend like $4,000 a year for 10 years. That's like $40,000, you know, and that's like being conservative, because when certain people have certain kind of jobs, their jobs are so boring and so unfulfilling and so uninspiring to them that they have dreams of like making all this money, and then these are the people that invest money into these programs. And it's like you can't just do it by that. You have to change other aspects of your life in a holistic way, and you have to understand energy, you have to understand vibration, you have to understand the different spiritual rules that are in the religious aspects of religion, you know, because religion is the shell, and the seed is not the shell, you know. You are not your body. In religion, this religion is the coating that protects what is inside of it, and most people are stuck on the outside, on the shell part, and they're not willing to go in, because to go in requires effort. It requires like actual getting unbound, untrapped in this web of like matrix, you know, in this really low energy, low density, you know, the food is low energy, the TV programs are catering to your lower desires, your sexual desires, your carnal desires, your, you know, desire to be loved or to be a hero. It all plays on those desires for you, and it fulfills them, as while you partake in those things, those fantasy worlds, you know, because it's a distraction. Because the last thing your self, your devil, that your beast that's controlling you, the energies, the lower vibrations that are in charge of your life, as long as you do what you've been doing, you're gonna get the same results, and it's like it'll do anything for you not to invest in yourself in a way that takes you at a higher level, you know. And then it'll say, "Oh, don't listen to this guy. You know, he's not even. Look at him. He's a hippie. He doesn't even shave. You know, you're a clean-shaven, square person. You should listen to somebody like that." You know, or it's gonna say, "Oh, look at him. You know, he's not bald like you, and he doesn't understand your plight. You know, he can't never understand you, and you don't have to listen to him. So look for a bald person." You know, it's like it'll tell you anything. It'll tell you 99 lies. To like jinn, you know, tells you one truth and like 99 lies. It's the same thing. You have a jinn that is actually taken over you. It lives vicariously through you, and it controls you like a puppet, you know. And it's your lower self that is, you know, that you've allowed it to take over you. You're like possessed. You know, most people are like possessed, you know, at certain levels. And it's like no, that's not how it happens. You have to, you know, you're gonna be up on walls and this and that, and you have to, you know, like the movies. No, like people are under a spell, you know. They are under, they don't know, like most people don't understand this hidden realm of the of the causality. They don't understand spirituality. They don't understand their, they don't understand the creator. They don't understand these things because they've been told, it's been defined for them, and in that definition that's been told to them, it keeps them at a certain understanding. It's understanding. It's always going to be under some other made up kind of like control. Okay, so a lot of people are like, well, I can't learn this because it'll go against my faith and my religion, and it says you can't do this and that. But it's like, you've been told this, so you don't know this. But just because you are watching me right now, it is something that has been showing itself to you, the truth, but you have been denying it. And the thing is, I've never felt more connected to the Most High, to the Creator, to that divine spark, from that divine light. Okay, it's like it's one and the same. It isn't that, but it is the same as that in a smaller way. As above, so below, as within, so without. The state of your mind, the state of your emotional state, your emotions, your mind, your thinking, determines your reality. And if you don't like your reality, then you have to change your mindset. And then slowly the reflection will start changing. It's not going to happen overnight. There's a process. There are series of downloads you have to get. You have to become courageous. You have to become fearless. You have to become grateful. You have to become a person at that level. Because to be in happiness, it is a certain level. And if it's only because you're happy because you're eating a Snickers bar, that's the lower vibration. That is, you're giving your happiness, you're putting it into something else outside of yourself. And you're putting it in that bar, and as long as you have that candy or that drink or that alcohol, it numbs you from like looking at your reflection and actually making the actions to change it. And the number one reflection is that in the mirror. And that's the first thing you have to change, because once you change your reflection, the person looking at that reflection, that's a changed reflection, is actually changed inside, in the mind. And then once you see the change and you have somebody to take accountability and show you, look at how you were before, look at you now, and then let's go to the next step. And you automatically go to the next step, because why would you want to stop? Why would you not want to stop learning about yourself, about this creation, about like not being tied down to like things that keep you at a lower state, less close to that creator, to see the divine and the beauty in the world, and not be governed by your lower desires, but allow your higher desires to govern your body and your mind and then your body, right? Now their mind is taking control of their body, and that soul is kind of like, their soul and spirit is kind of like just taken over. It's been covered up. They're covered up by a lower energy, that's the spirit. It's been a bunch of vibrations have been put on that soul. And then it's like, what you have to do is you have to change the body, change the spirits you put in you, the foods you eat, the thoughts you think. Those are all energies. Those are all light. And that's what they say as in spirits, That's just a word so you can understand it. Okay, so once you do that, then you start changing. You start uncovering that onion. You start peeling the layers of the onion until you get to the core. And then what happens if you peel the onion? The core is the onion. It's like, it's just nothing. But it's like we have this body. Once you get to that point, it's like, wait, I don't want just to be in that. I want, you know, to feel this world. I want to have pleasure. There's nothing wrong with having pleasure and having wealth and abundance. You know, that's another thing. A lot of people that are religious, they think it's like it's greedy to be wealthy. It's greedy to be on first class. You know, when there's poor people everywhere. Why are you on first class, wasting your money? You know, it's like they think it's greedy and all that stuff. It's like, no, you can't think like this, because that is a state of thinking. That is thinking that there's not enough for people. That there's lack in this world. You know, that there's not. You know, that like that the creator doesn't. Infinity is not. This is infinity. Infinity is infinity. You know, there's no limit. You know, and the way you think about the creator is the way you think about yourself. You know, and that's how the creator will manifest to you. So if you think it's a dog eat dog world, then you have to become a dog, right? Psychologically, you'll think like a dog, you'll react like a dog, you know, and it's like you're an animal. So where's your, you know, your animal? That's all, you know, and that's like doing disservice to dogs, because dogs are perfect at being dogs, you know. Dogs are you know, the best dogs. You know, a cat can't be a dog. You know, when you see a cat barking, it's like it'll go on YouTube and be viral, you know, because it's something weird. It doesn't happen. You know, it's odd. And then if it barks too much, it's like, what's wrong with this cat? You know, it's a freaking cat. Why is it barking? Oh, it's because it has this tear, or, you know, the owner told it to bark. But it's like, you put it around other cats, it'll start meowing, you know. But anyways, that's what you are. You are a human being. You know, you're not human. You're a being that is in this human form. You know, we've defined this form to be human, but it's the being. You're the being. So stop being human. You have to rise above humanity, and you have to, not in a superficial, arrogant way, but in a way of like, you know, don't be triggered. Be triggerless. Don't let things trigger you and take your energy. You know, somebody looks at you wrong, you gotta start being angry and, you know, that's okay. That's a human feeling. And you're human, right? I'm human. But don't allow that feeling to fester. Allow it to go through you. See, when that feeling goes through you, not in you and stays in you, allow it to go through you. Once it goes through you, you have the wisdom and the insight and the intuition and the energy of being that person that survived that feeling, you know? Like when I'm doing my thing and people are mocking me, when I'm doing my hand signs and I'm doing my yoga or whatnot, or my geometry, you know, my energy work, you know, Tai Chi, Feng Shui, Qigong, you know, when I do that, like when I'm working out, as I'm lifting the weights, I'm, you know, lifting, you know, like I'm not yelling or anything. I'm just lifting it with my different fingers. Like I do it with my one finger, you know, like 40 pounds, you know, and it's like each thing has a muscle. Each muscle, you stretch it in the physical. It's for stretching the mind, for you to stretch in the physical and manifest in the physical, you know. And there's different organs tied to your fingers, and it's like this acupuncture points and these pressure points all over your body, your feet, you know. And it's like when I'm mocked, it's like I know that when someone's laughing at me, I know that it is just a vibration of their insecurity, because it's their ego laughing. So the soul doesn't like listen to it, you know. So it's like, okay, I won't, you know, I'm getting laughed at. I don't want to be laughed at like that guy, you know. So it's like people want, but I know what it is. So I allow that energy to go through me, and it's like after I allow it to go through me, I like take that energy, that negative energy, and I just use it for myself. You know, it's like food. It's like literally like food, and when I do that, and I see that happening, it's like I get more power, you know. And it's like not arrogance. It's like it's just energy, you know. And And that's what everything around us is made, so you can decipher it. So you should move about it in a way where you don't get attached to it, but you can navigate it to the highest form for you, you know. And it's like, and there's nothing wrong with having abundance. There's nothing wrong with wealth and energy and being grateful. That's what gratitude is. So a true person with gratitude, the more you're grateful for, the more you're going to have it coming to you, because it is a frequency, it is a vibration, it is a certain level of consciousness. And at that level of consciousness, it's like the hub, it's like an airport. You know, it's like the departures are at a certain level, and the arrivals at a different level. They're not the same level. They're a different level. One's lower, one's higher. And to go somewhere, most of the arrivals are first. I mean, the departures are like at a higher level in all airports. Okay, and it's like the second floor, third floor, fourth floor. You know, depending on the airplane. I get sidetracked, but it's at a higher level, and you have to access that area. Same thing with the spiritual. To have access to more distant experiences and great destinations is gratitude, is the hub. And that's what I teach. I teach you how to be in gratitude, how to start being a manifester of your own reality, start to decode your own life, start to blaze your own path without being attached to, you know, feel-good systems where it's like you need to go to the seminar every year for $2,000 and like just to get back in that mood, you know? It's like you don't need that. I mean, a lot of those systems, I mean, they're great, but it is very Freudian based. Freud, I'm going to end with this. Most self-development, most psychological counseling, you know, personal development, most of it, 90% of it is Freudian based. I would say 99% of it is Freudian based. I don't know one that isn't. It's very Freudian based. And Sigmund Freud it's all about the logic. It's all about the body, the intellect, and the ego, and like physical. There's no spirituality involved. And Sigmund Freud was a contemporary of Freud. He worked with him in the same lab or, you know, clinic, and they split. They had a splitting of like thought. You know, Carl Jung had dreams, and he always was spiritual. You know, and Sigmund Freud like didn't believe in that. He was the superior, and he's like, no, we're not going to do this. And basically he formed his own kind of like branch of psychology. You know, and that's where you had the shadow self and like the Gnosticism and stuff. But it's not like he invented this kind of knowledge. This is ancient knowledge. This has been occulted in religion. It has been occulted in all cultures throughout the ages and time. Thousands and thousands of years ago. You know, it's like history is not what you think. You know, and it's like, and it's really mind-boggling. I mean, it's like, this is like, you know, when you join the program, it is like, this is like the last stages. This is like the beginning part of the program, the first month and a half. You're getting your physical reality aligned, okay? And then, at the same time, you are finding out about your limited beliefs and your, you know, trauma and healing that you have to heal in order to go to the next step at a better foundation. All that stuff comes out, and it's done in a very spiritual way where science is there and spirituality is there. So it's like they work hand in hand. So, you know, some people are okay with, you know, quantum. You know, they want to talk about particles and energy and frequency, and other people are like, okay, dimensions and like angels and demons, and you know, it's like it's all sign of energy. It's just said by different cultures. And like, what is the Kabbalah? What is Sufism? What is this system? It's like it's all different interpretations to go deeper into that teaching at a deeper level. So like, okay, I'll give you an example. Like, we know that nothing happens without God knowing about it. Without the Most High, without Allah knowing that a leaf doesn't even fall from a tree without God knowing. So like, is it a coincidence that there's a car in front of you with the last three digits that are your I don't know, your social security number, and it's like nothing is random, and it's like you become a person of subtle nature where you can subtly pick up these energies, pick up these numbers, and know what it means, and knows what you're thinking. Like when you see a bunch of white cars just randomly, like white car behind you, white car in front of you, white car everywhere, that's because you're tapped into a higher frequency, where in that frequency what reflects back is white, which is the crown chakra. It's white, okay. And red, that's why I like a lot of like the devil is red, right? And like, and it's like you see people in like black and like red, and it's like a powerful, it's very powerful, very like seductive kind of feeling, when you see red and black, it's like sexy, and it's like red lipstick, right? Red lipstick, black dress, think that, black hair, it's like, red, that's red. I think you know what red is, but it's like, it's very powerful energy. That color is the root chakra. That has the vibration of the root chakra, where your security, your sexuality, all that stuff is in that realm of that feeling. That's why you see certain things are red, and you have a different feeling towards it just by looking at it. More authority, things like that. And like, green is the heart, right? And it's like, you see green grass, green trees, green plants. It's like, it's more, that's why nature is green, It's like, yeah, anyways, but this is stuff that we weren't taught, and you can't learn it by everyday discourse. This is not what people talk about at the water cooler, No one, when you're with your friends, are you guys and ladies, talking about improving yourselves and making, like, oh brother, oh, I got this thing and it's gonna do this. It's like, if it is anything, it's like, oh, I found a site that does free editing, so hey, why don't you download it? Save money. It's like, but that's the extent of our interaction. Is like, it's all driven by very lower means, It's never too personally like, oh, let's eat healthier, everyone, and eat, and start this cleanse. Let's talk about the cleanse. Oh, do you try that cleanse? Oh, it's so awesome. I feel so good. You don't talk about that. Most people don't. Or if they do, they're totally stuck on the physical. Still, it's like everywhere is a trap for you to not go deeper in yourself. It has to be holistic, As you work on your physical body, you have to work on your mental meditation and prayer. It cannot be just one-sided. It cannot be only about money. It cannot be only about making friends. It cannot be only about getting healthy. It cannot be only about spirituality. It has to be all those things, because that's what spirituality is. It's everything. And that's what's missing in our understanding and overstanding, in our discourse and our knowledge, that everything has to be put in a blender, and everything has to be done simultaneously. Because going to the bathroom in the morning, or drinking something that will, like if you drink some detox tea or something at night, and then that will affect you physically. That'll affect your dreams. That'll affect your sense of like regeneration when you go to sleep. It'll affect your bathroom in the morning. It'll affect how you absorb your food. It'll affect your gut bacteria. It'll affect your mood. It'll affect all that stuff. So that's why everything is spiritual. And this is exactly what I do. I spiritualize every aspect of your life. And you already do the rituals. You already pray. You already make wudu. You already do these things. But now if you have the knowledge of what each action you're doing is actually doing in the physical, and in the mental, and the spiritual, in the unseen realm, then you'll know that it's a ritual to take the seed out. But you have to plant it. You have to plant it. And that's what we aren't doing. We aren't being taught. We're just doing these empty rituals. And we don't know the meaning behind it. And it's like, we've just been taught the surface level. Oh, it cleans your sins and your sins of your hands. But it's like, no, it's deeper than that. Each finger corresponds with an element. And each element corresponds with an emotion, with a spiritual thing. In, it's agreed upon that the what is this? The middle finger is like the earth. It's not, sorry, not the earth. The ethers. Okay, ethers. The ethers. You know, the space where the air is. You know, the space where this is. You know, this is in the ethers. And it's a thought too. You know, and then you have like water. You know, this is the water energy, and the water energy is about emotion. It's about your emotional like fluidity. You know, that's why they call it currency, right? It moves around. It's like a water, and they call banks. You know, why do they call a bank a bank? Because it's what catches the currency. It controls the current. You know, and then it's like also emotion. You know, it's your emotions. That's why when you are sad about something and you cry, chances are you'll feel a lot better because you're not holding that energy in, and those energies, those tears are salty, and salt it's mixed with also like sulfur and all this stuff, and it's like it has literally energy of that thought. That depression is in those drops, and then that's why you feel a lot better. You cry, you let all that out, and you drink a glass of water, and you're like, wow, gosh, oh, that felt so good, you know, and you're like this new person, and you like walk around happier, and it's like, or you have tears of joy, and it's like you're crying those tears of joy, you know, that's why it's emotion. That's why I have to go to the bathroom. Oh, bathroom, oh, you have to go pee-pee, you know. I don't know if they do that anymore, but in the 80s they did. Tinkle, you know. Anyways, that's what the thing is, was the pinky, you know, and you know, there's other fingers, and there's hand mudras, and that's why, you know, we count on our fingers, and then there's numbers, and there's certain colors have certain vibrations, and certain number patterns mean certain things, and it's just really amazing. It's a whole new world, and it's like whatever's given to the masses, you won't find these books in like the bestsellers, you know. You'll find something like it, like, you know, these law of attraction kind of things, but law of attraction is only dealing with like a certain aspect of energy, and it's only like dealing with like totally different. It's like they don't get into like a lot of stuff, and it's like it's totally it's like almost void of like, it's a different aspect of spirituality, which, you know, they don't tell the whole story, you know, and it's all about positive attitude, and it's like, no, there's negativity, you know, and you can't deny it. There's negativity in you that you cannot deny, and you can't just, you know, put a smile over it, because eventually you have to deal with the root, you know, and it's like, but that whole world came about because of this truth, you know. There's like all this accumulation of knowledge, and then there's like sprouts coming out of it, you know, and this is like one doctrine of it, this is one aspect of it, this is one aspect of it. Luciferians are like one aspect of it, but it's like all from one source, and they're just taking it and like branding it to get more energy of a certain mindset of people, and they're stuck there at that, but they're never going to get to the source, and that's what it's all about. It's like the truth, you know, and there's different laws, you know, there's rules, and there's certain knowledge, you know, and in the wrong person's hands, you know, this is what you have. You have people that control other people, And it's a different age now. That age of hope, and just hoping and just having faith. It's like, yes, it's faith is not hoping. Faith is certainty and knowing, and just not even like, just knowing to the core. And it's not, and it's through knowledge, not through what you've been told. It's through knowledge, and it's like you just know, and but you have fear, but you go through that fear, and then you don't have that fear anymore. Okay, take care, everyone. Just if you have any questions, feel free to message me, and I'm willing to talk to anybody. I usually talk, like, if someone's interested in my program, then what happens is they DM me, and we talk for an hour or two. Like today, I talked to somebody from Hawaii for like 2 hours. And she signed on, and I'm really happy for her. Because it's like there's a person that like wants to know, and is committed, not just interested. Because if you're interested in losing weight, if you're interested in getting your promotion, or if you're interested in having different aspects of your life change for the better, aligned to your highest goal, then if you're interested, then you will do what is convenient. If it's not convenient for you to go to the gym after 2 weeks, then you're going to stop going, or you'll start adjusting that meal plan, and then you won't get the results, and then you just won't do it anymore because it was not convenient. You didn't want it bad enough. Actually, you're not willing to go there, to tap into that inner you, to draw it out of you through discipline and kind of like taking control of your wild child that is running your life, and building that spiritual like foundation back up, aligned to your highest self. It's like you telling your 10-year-old self. It's like you going back and like you guiding your 10-year-old self to change spiritually by learning lessons from the past of that person's life. And we get into all that stuff, and it's amazing. And yeah, so what you do is we talk for an hour or two, and we can kind of gauge from the conversation, ask you what you know about this, about these kind of things, and what got you to this level, and what got you to even, question these things, and what's going on with your life, get into those kind of things, and then get into how, like, we get into, like, how it would be tailored for you, and all that stuff. And I can gauge pretty much first 10 minutes if the person will be interested or committed. And when I can sense that this person is committed, then I tell them more information that they would learn at a higher, in a week's time, 2 weeks' time, 3 weeks' time, what to expect out of it, and what is the commitment. You have to be committed. You can't be interested. You have to be committed, because when you're committed, you will do what it takes. You will learn what you have to learn. You will make self-assessments. There's different parts where one of the steps is like getting rid of the junk. You have to be willing to get rid of the junk after you assess that, what, this is not serving me. This relationship where I hang out with my friends at 10 o'clock at night till 3 in the morning, it is not serving me. I come home smelling like cigarettes, and I wasted $200 at the bar, or I, did the same thing this weekend as the last, and I spent like $200, and we ate, and I just feel like shit, and I ate all this French fries and a burger and burping, and all we talked about was like, and the next day I'm tired, I didn't go to the gym. Is it serving you? No, it's not. It's doing a disservice to you. So you have to be willing to let that go. And then that's his part, like, we're afraid to let things go because it scares us that we won't have that feeling anymore, But the thing is, when you let it go for the higher cause, for the sake of the Creator in you, then you get back something at a higher level that your physical Nuff's ego couldn't comprehend, because it can only see 2-3 ways to improve, but or 2-3 different realities of yourself at a higher level, but the one that's connected to everything, infinity, it sees 1,000 different things that you don't see, 5,000 different ways, and things happen. It's like this person moves here, and then all of a sudden this person moved to, like, I met that last client, person moved to to Hawaii from Pennsylvania, and they were already primed, and this and that, and all these things have to happen for those two people to connect and go forward, It's like, it's all happening in the unseen. Okay, everyone, take care. DM me, and it's worth your while. Don't wait till the 1st of January. Seriously, what are you waiting for? Like last year? You're not getting any younger. And, but the thing is, once you know this stuff, it's like, I haven't been in better physical health now than I have ever been in my life. I can play basketball for hours with, like, people half my age, or my age, and it's like, it's amazing. It's like, in all levels, it's beneficial. Physically, mentally, it's like a psychology game, You can play with people's minds, it's like, it's just awesome. And it's just, whatever you like, it's all for you. But is it serving you, or are you serving it? Are you a slave to it, or is it a slave to you? Okay, take care, everyone. And I'll hear from you soon. Take care.